lau palota, o lau leo, o lau filfilinga, o lau manuia, I le lumanai. Awane e misia whaasala launga tu sao, ma le pol kalame whaanga solo lau NUS TV. O le ama whauna whaasala wina tu sao mai tawhai wha o Samoa. O polu masovai ma soa se vaenga o Samoa. O le a whaatino ai na whainga filfilinga le atunu. Le ama whauna whaasala lau tu sao, e lunga o le tautua ma le umnanga nei, a lau NUS TV. Manuia le whainga palota le atunu.
Talo Falava and welcome to our next biology class today. Today we're going to continue about discussing the different processes in plants. So today's process we will be looking at transpiration. But before we start, make sure you are ready, make sure that you are focused, and that you have a notebook to write down your notes. So today's process, we will be looking at transpiration. But before we go on to transpiration, let's recap on our last or our previous lesson. Yes, we looked at the different parts of the internal parts of a leaf. E kaulole internal o fea tonu le leaf e le internal parts o to tonu e le ilo atu e tātou I whafo o to tonu le e le internal parts of the leaf a mata mai fea I le upper epidermis e kawe lalo le lower epidermis o lai ai le stomata. Awesome. So today's lesson we are going to look at the process of transpiration. Transpiration is a process where water is lost from the leaf. O le process there, lo watangia mai ai, le lusi o le vai. But before we go on and discuss this process in details, ka ke koe fo'i lava I le process there o le photosynthesis. While the process there o le tāua there o vaenga taitasi e mo o mia ele la au. For example, water. Water is a raw material. Mana tuala vaenga leo e tau o raw materials. Ale maua raw materials ele mawhai ona maua ia. Vaenga le pito I tua products. Products. So raw materials po meka or reactants ele mawhai o na maua products. So akakova aile the process of photosynthesis. Water is a raw material. Lona winga e mo o mia le vai ina ia mawhai o na maua le glucose ma le oxygen. Whaafela na maua le vai I le la au. E folo paka ko ele la au ia le vai. No, it comes from the roots. It goes through the roots. La for the process, let me know ele vai to tonu roots. We talked about this yesterday. Ole osmosis. Osmosis. So the osmosis push. Le una ia le vai ina ia mawhai o na alu tsono au. O na koso lola ia lunga ele transpiration pool. Le lawa koso aku lola ia lunga ele transpiration pool. Carbon dioxide. Whaafeo na mau ele la au le carbon dioxide. E aduako fo ili lalo ia au le la au. Yes, sao leia e sao ile leaves. So o laula au lai tupu ai ele gas exchange. Do you remember po ngā whea tonu lava o le laula au e tupu ai ele gas exchange. E tupu ile stomata. Yeah, so we done this. Stomata. Stomata is the opening lai lusi ele vai At the same time, lai lusi le vai o lai kupoi for ile gas exchange. O a gases na exchange. Ole carbon dioxide o nai mo o mia le la au le carbon dioxide. I saw we fafole le oxygen. I saw we fafole oxygen as a waste product. Ona avelola e fia le oxygen. Ale mo o mia tato. We breathe in oxygen. So again, the water goes in the plants through the roots by the process of osmosis. Osmosis push. O fela o I like levai. Like fafo. Remember the definition of osmosis is the movements of water particles from a level of high concentration to low concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. Good. So imafua on the move le vai to tona le lao on a light tele le vai fia outside. So it moves inside because it is highly concentrated. So H2O is highly concentrated outside of the plant. Then the water moves in. Remember, transpiration, it occurs in the leaves. So as the water is lost, replace le vai le lusi I dungai leaves. Lai lusi vai ngaton lava le ole stomata. Fafia vai makala le stomata. We also talked about this. E makala le stomata onga ua turgents. A lot of men are turgents. What turgents le guard cells. Guard cells. So remember kako guard cells. They look like peanuts. So these are the guard cells. Ole ava nola le son. Mela le tau ole stomata. Me ole control lina le matala ole stomata ole guard cells. E mafua o ngā wanoa totonu ole stomata. Ona ua fufula wa turgid ka lole turgid ua wakele le vai. There's so much water in the guard cells that makes the guard cells turgid. So mga makala lola I halui fafo le vai. The same time lai lusi le vai o lai exchange male gases. Those gases are carbon dioxide kokongu I sawi fafo le oxygen. So this is just a recap of what we're going to talk about today in detail. Water imawelila au le vai through the process of osmosis una ia le vai tonu ona alu lola e lunga laula au. Ola me alwe fua ia le vai lunga laula au. Because ona tonu ale laula au. Lai kupu ia le photosynthesis. I ngā whea le laula au lai kupu le photosynthesis. I le chloroplast. We talked about this. Whea le vaenga le laula au e kele le chloroplast. E kele lunga le picola ka unga le leia le pico I lunga. Palisade mesophyll layer. Good. Palisade mesophyll layer. Okay, so this is just a way that you can, koinga all the science. Ale tu sia le ata I si taimi. E whawhinga tā lava I lo mawhauwhau. Ona whawasenga the concept and its application. But if you draw a picture, osmosis push, transpiration pull, alu ese male transpiration I, exchange male gases. If I ngo feel lola ia, ona visualize what the process is. Good? Okay, so let's focus on transpiration today. What is the definition of transpiration? Transpiration is the process where plants lose water as vapor through tiny openings called the stomata. So lewa umansala no ai ole stomata ole opening na e lusi ai le vai. So just like us humans, why do you think it's a tawana lusi le vai lisi taimi? La le tawa. to cool down our bodies. Over le vevele, pe al temine, wa matona afu. O le afu na, mawhai hei ona, yes, bring down your temperature. So just like plants, they need to cool down their bodies, so they need to lose water. But there are factors that affect transpiration. Kakikala ngolo e meka o factors. O mea ngai e a fuai o ngā vave besi lo yesea process. So do you remember the different types of factors? Wai lua koe ngā factors. Ole biotic factor. Biotic factor. Male abiotic factor. Biotic factors o vaeng o factors ia e mahfua mai ona o se mea e iai leola. Wa mahfua o na vave pesilo ona o se mea ola, or another living thing. Abiotic factors, they normally refer to environmental factors. So transpiration lava ia, e te lea o na afia le vave pesilo o le process e mafua mai I abiotic factors. So wait, loa le ese single factors e loa. Biotic, normally mafua mai ona se meola, it is caused by another living thing, is either interfering with the process, or abiotic factors, they are normally environmental conditions that affect the slowness, or also how the process is rapid. Rapid wa vave. So o tato factors here, tas lua tolu whalima. Light. In bright light, stomata opens wide to allow gas exchange for photosynthesis, which increases transpiration. Nonga winga. Increase the light intensity. Liko ke koe fo mai I le photosynthesis. O le sunlight. Mankua e ka uia le sunlight ma le chlorophyll oa. Catalyst. Lale winga ngā catalyst. Lato te whaatope ina pe whaavave le tupu o lea. Process. So sunlight increase the light intensity. Ua vave be increase o ilea the rates of transpiration. Temperature. E kai kukusala le light mo le temperature over le vivila. What do you think kupu le transpiration, the rates? E kau fo ianga nga vave fo ia. Higher temperature makes water evaporates faster from the leaf, increasing transpiration. So I increase fo ia the temperature, increase fo ile rates of transpiration. Good. On kako wo o mai lola ia ile humidity. Humidity. O inga whaalonga mo le up. Humidity. Humidity normally refers to the amount of water in the atmosphere. La whaingo le vai I kokongo le au le kako si o manga. O lala sa keimi kei lo ai piwa wake le ale vai kokongo si o manga. In the morning, mangkua le sau le ke wai ala ma ele I kimuanga po ai wai lakui whafua lai susu le mutia lai susu ia lunga le ia whaata tāwale e mahfua ona susu ua increase the humidity. So I increase the humidity. So mawhau whaasa ingisi longo winga lai ke lele H2O I whafo laula au. Awhapela lai high concentration le water outside of the leaf o le halan mela atupu. Mangkua water whawhenga alu le water kokongo o le laula au. E also through the leaf. Le hai e also kuilalo I roots. So a high concentration le water I lungo leaves. Lona winga e lema whai o na minoi whafo le water from the leaves because why? The water is highly concentrated from outside of the leaf, meaning increase the humidity ua decrease the rates of transpiration. Kele le susu o le air, vai o le, i le tatu atmosphere, e mawalalo pe silo wa le transpiration. O le wind. Strong winds remove the water vapor around the leaf surface, speeding up transpiration. Yo, o le FMA for tato definition. Kele le wind. O la me kupu transpiration. Ua vave fo ile alo o le transpiration ua increase fo. O la se example an application e kiva aye levainga. Whakekaingo lea, ka ngā mea. Le wai halu e awelo ofu e whātau i whafo, le pō, savili, ai alai whataia, wa mango. E mafua na mango. Because what? Yes, the wind. Wa halu le wind, ma evaporate kwai ma le water, And last but not the least is availability of water. If water is limited, stomata may close to reduce water loss. Longa winga, e fua fo ile lusu le vai lunga I leaves. Ile availability o le vai lalo roots. So le tele o atu nuu fo ia le ilako seasons. E ile taime ke vai kwa wa, o ko ulu ia lau la au. E ko ulu because of season la so mai o le alu winter. E kaule ai se la. So, and during that period, they do not need their leaves. So, le wo mga store le glucose le sa mawasi seasons. O ko ulu lola I o lau. Inga ia ta pena ia le la au for winter. For winter. So, le ta tele na o factors here. Tasi lua tolu fa. Lima. Lights, temperature, humidity, wind, and water availability. So we increase umaya isi factors. Kasi ale factor like decrease ole humidity. So I increase the humidity and decrease the rates of transpiration. O ala ni vai ngai mawhai ona bui ai le la au from losing water. So what are some ways or some adaptations that the plants can avoid transpiration? There's a kakalangoi internal parts. Yesterday, one of those internal parts is the closing of the stomata. Mga kua ale makala le stomata ele mawhai o ngā sawi whafo ia le water. O le kaimi fo I ngā le sai whafo le water lai kupoi fo I le gas exchange. So if you think about it and logically, whaasangis, longa winga o le kaimi anga lai kupoi le photosynthesis, le exchange le gas, o lai luce ma le water, mangko le makala stomata e halwe whafo le vai, exchange the gas at the same time. So the internal way to avoid transpiration, or the control or the stomata. Aiva for yung external ways. So external ways o la kakikilo I whawhako le la au. Oangi au wala e mawhai le la au o na puipuia I le lucio le vai. We talked about the waxy cuticle yesterday. Aiva ailungo o laula au. Kele o laula au e aso vai piko ilunga pe I ila. Be glossy. Why do you think e glossy ilunga laula au? Inga I mawhai o ngā reflect. So remember I reflect. Longa winga I le mawhai o absorb directly at the sunlight, le water. Because they have a protective layer, le waxy cuticle, a reflector. The next parts are leaves. So the leaf hairs is laulao. Be ai kango lungo laula be kau kalakala. O isi laulao ngai kalakala. They use those little leaf hairs to trap inga ima whainga po e mai le vai. Ia awange whaingo fie o na lusi le vai. Another external way is the size and shape of the leaf. So eva ai I leaves ia ele whape e la po. Remember I increase the surface area? Wala po. Longa winga makwa ke le o le process like tupu ai. Aiva ai ngira, this is a branch of Aute. Ese umaya kulanga ye kuwaile leaf. They are all not under one, or they are not in one direction. Be go circular yele arrange on leaves, leaves ta popoa, yai for ima leaves like. So leaf size and leaf shape and the leaf orientation, the arrangement of the leaves. O listening adaptation, it's a mafai lila au, e avoid le lucy le vai transpiration. And the last part I've mentioned before is the shedding of the leaves. So other countries where during autumn, le season neo le autumn, wo makon ko ulu ia lau. E ko ulu inga ia mawhai o ngā. Ka mawhai e ka whiofi ia le vai during the season le winter when there's hardly any sunlight. So all in summary, o le tāua nā, o le malama lele, I le photosynthesis. Photosynthesis, o le tāua o raw materials, o le water ma le carbon dioxide. Whaafeo nā alu tutonu le water I kongo le la au. E alu I kokongo o roots through the process of osmosis. Wahai le concentration o le water I fafo o le la au e mafu ai on a push. There is an osmosis push that pushes the water into the plants. It's pushed into the plants. At the same time, transpiration pull is occurring. E koso kui lunga ia le vai, inga ia oi lunga ole leaf. So as water is lost, wa lusi le vai lungo tato laula au. Olai replace aku ai lalo, ia, yes, ia le vai. O le kaua nga o lo malama le process ia, ese lua. Photosynthesis, this is the process where plants, they use, yes, water and carbon dioxide with the help of the catalysts, which are sunlight and chlorophyll. Lafalinga, what is chlorophyll? Chlorophyll is the green pigment. The green pigments polivaenga le na mafuaanga le wa ona mea matai laula au. Lafo le ka o le chlorophyll ngake poeinga trap mai le sunlight. So it traps the sunlight and it attracts it. Inga ia mawhai ai unga kupule photosynthesis. So photosynthesis I the same time like kupule photosynthesis like kupue foile transpiration. So transpiration lai lucy levai through the opening of the stomata. At the same time, during photosynthesis, gas exchange or carbon dioxide and oxygen is exchange through the stomata as well. Remember, e salimeta o le stomata. Ese le vaingata o God cells. O God cells, la ua lea latea controllinga le matala ma le tapuni o le stomata. So e a makalonga ngā kele le vai ko kongo God cells. Wa turgid le God cells. O na matala lo la ia o le stomata. So always remember that. Stomata, or the opening of the stomata, it is caused by the turgidity in the guard cells. E mahua o na matala lea wanoa o le stomata, o na uafula ia guard cell, uafula I vai. Wakele le vai kokong I wala poa makala lola I o stomata. Mahalu lola e kokong lea. Kung le carbon dioxide during photosynthesis. Is that all the carbon dioxide? Yes. Carbon dioxide le ato tonu. Ai sawi fa fole o ke sine mo tato. At the same time, lai lucia le vai. Transpiration, or the taua transpiration, is to cool down the plants. Le ngata na cool down the plants, but it also allows the plants to absorb water. Mansua afapele tupu le transpiration wa lusi le vai. Ele mafai fo una tupu le transpiration pool. Kai pele straw. Ingu so fan win po so new. Mi miki le straw. So imagine o oil and meat le straw. That is water loss. Ala mele e koso mai lunga le water. So just like plants. Water is lost, but is also replaced through the osmosis push. Osmosis push, goso mai lola e lunga transpiration pool. It is lost through the process of transpiration. Alai kupue for the process of photosynthesis. Remember the factors? If you tato factors in talanoine, lima. The lights are increased, the light intensity, increase for the rates of transpiration. Increase the temperature, increase for the rates of transpiration. Increase the humidity, decrease. I see what in the atmosphere will decrease the rates of transpiration. Increase the wind, increase for the rates of transpiration. And last but not the least, if water is available, or water availability, tele le vai fafo. No na wingo la tele fo le osmosis push. Ma tele fo le vai lucy. So hopefully that you have learned all the different importance of transpiration, the different factors that affect the rates of transpiration, the adaptations of the plants to avoid the loss of water, and last but not the least, the connection between photosynthesis and transpiration and the activity of the stomata. So there you have it. Until next time, boys and girls, hopefully that you have learned something. Until next time. So fast.